Hey everyone, welcome back to another Transformers review. Today we'll be taking a look at Kingdom Leader Class Megatron. Finally, Beast Wars is making a return to the franchise in the final part for the War for Cybertron trilogy. I am getting this figure off of GameStop. A fan of the channel alerted me that this figure was in stock on their site last week. I ordered it, came in a few days later, so I'm so happy I didn't have to wait for March for my pre-orders to come in, even though this figure just recently started showing up in California at Targets. So before we take a closer look at this figure, let's just go over the package really quick. The Kingdom artwork on these new packages is absolutely fantastic looking. You got a beautiful picture of Megatron in his T-Rex mode. And then on the side of the box, you have a picture of Megs in his robot mode. And up here in the corner, you can see the Nemesis spacecraft crash into the side of a mountain. On the back of the box, you got a picture of Megatron in both his modes. And then up here, you have a little bit of a cave painting of a T-Rex. So all in all, absolutely beautiful, beautiful looking package. I even love the top where you have the Predacon symbol spray painted in. Now, he does not come with any accessories. The only other thing included in the box is this beautiful collector card of Dinobot. And on the back, you do have the golden disc. It would actually be nice if he actually came with the golden disc, but I'm sure third party or maybe even Hasbro might release an accessory set later on. So anyways, with the package out of the way, let's take a closer look at Megatron. So let's start with a nice 360-degree view of Megatron in his beast mode. And I have to say, Hasbro absolutely knocked out of the park with his T-Rex mode. I absolutely love this thing. Only Megatron could pick a big purple T-Rex for his alt form. This thing is just amazing. I just love all the sculpted detail on it. My real only complaint about him being in this mode is the way the knees operate. They just have this big wide gap when you bend the knees for the articulation, and it kind of takes away from the sculpt. But other than that, this is a fantastic looking beast mode. All right, let's get Megatron off the turntable and take a closer look at his T-Rex mode, starting with that awesome head sculpt. I absolutely love the head sculpt on this figure. They're going for a more realistic look with the Kingdom figures instead of making them look like the CGI counterparts from the original Beast Wars series. And I do like this more realistic take on these figures if you're just going for a cartoon accuracy. That's why Takara has the Masterpiece Beast Wars line. You can see a lot of beautiful sculpted detail on the head. You get some large scales around the eye. The eye is just colored in red. And looking at it from the front, he does kind of have a pretty wide face, but it's pretty cool that we get the T-Rex binocular vision. You got his nostrils sculpted in here. The teeth are beautifully painted in white. And then opening the mouth up, you can see this nice deep purple tongue with a lot of nice textures on it. And then going flipping the figure over, you can see it has this nice bright green paint all the way down to the tip of his tail. You have some nice molded scale detail in here, even along the side of the body. A lot of beautiful texturing all over this figure. Really well done. The figure feels absolutely fantastic looking in hand. Underneath, you can see some large belly scales sculpted in with some orange paint. The hand claws are nicely sculpted. Going down to the feet look really, really well done. You have some nice white claws, and that's because the white is the whole bottom of the foot is just one piece of molded white plastic. And you can't really see too much of the robot mode turn this figure around, other than when you flip it over, you can see a little bit of his hip section. But this figure does a pretty good job of concealing all his robot bits. Articulation wise, this figure has some pretty good articulation in beast mode. The mouth is double jointed. You can get some pretty wide gapage with his mouth. And you can see right here, there is a port for the blast effects. So if you have any of those, you can just clip them in and have your Megatron breathing fire. This is the one I think that came with Skylinks. And then for the neck, you can rotate it from side to side. This is part of his arm. He can look up, which would break the sculpt, but you get some really nice movement. Now this panel right here is spring loaded. So when you're moving the figure around, it keeps it closed and doesn't like pop open when you're moving the head around, which is a cool feature. The front arms are on a ball joint, so they can move up and down, and they can swing out a little bit from side to side. You get some decent hip movement right here, and then at the knee, you get a nice bend. This is the only part, like I said, that bothers me. It's just the way the knee joint works. It just kind of breaks up the sculpt. You have a little bit of ankle movement and a little bit of ankle tiltage, and the tail can move side to side, and the end of the tail is also articulated. So yeah, all in all, you get some really good range of motion with Megatron in his T-Rex mode. Alright, let's move on with some comparisons. Here he is with Voyager Siege Megatron, and here he is with Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime, and here he is with one of the fossilizers. Here he is with Paleo Rex, and lastly, here he is with the Maximal Rat Trap. Moving on to transformation, he's not that complicated, but he is a very satisfying transformation. What you first want to do is pop up his hip covers like this, then just rotate those back until they stop. Just be careful rotating these. I've seen some people on the Facebook groups, if you try to turn these in too far, you will snap off the hinge that hold these into place, and then you just want to pop up his back, collapse that, and then flip back his neck right here, and then go underneath his stomach to split his chest open, rotate the arms in so they tuck under, and then what you want to do is flip these side panels. These spring-loaded side panels will want to close. You're just going to have to guide them past his robot bits, and then once you get those tucked into place, just flip around the belly panels, and now his backpack is done. And going back down to the legs, let's see, I give a lot of credit to the Transformer reviewers that have to do this all the time, because transforming on camera is not an easy task. So you just want to flip up his thigh right here, just pulls out, and just snap it back in. On this side, pop it out, spin it up, push it in, and then you want to get his legs all set. So you're going to get these two hinges right here and pop them out to get them straight, and then pull them back in. Just might want to rotate the tail down so you get a little bit of clearance. Those will tuck into place right here, and then same thing for this side. Just want to, and then the hip will close together right here. And then next, what you want to do is pop his leg section out. It is connected right here by a little port. Let me see if I can get my camera in there. There's a little tab that clips in to the side of his torso, so you just want to pop that out. And once you have that popped out, you can rotate his torso out and then bring it forward. And then while you have it forward, before you lock the chest into place, you want to rotate Megatron's face up, have that click into place, and then just collapse his torso on the hinge right here. And you hear it snap into place, and now he is all locked into place. You just need to work on his arm right here. You flip this tail section out, rotate this to form that little pincher that he has, and then right here, these are rubber pieces right here. You want to kind of just tuck these under his tail as you're opening them up. I didn't do that first, and I kind of warped the pieces a little bit. You can see it on this side. So same thing, flip up these panels, tuck that corner in, and then you have his arm done. And then for the T-Rex arm, you just extend it out, rotate it, and let's just get his legs all into place. And then I just gotta fix these back panels right here, and there we go. Here is Beast Wars Megatron in his robot mode, and I am in love with this figure. This Megatron looks absolutely fantastic looking. Hasbro did such an amazing job on him, and he's a good size figure. This actually feels like a real leader class figure, especially when compared to the leader classes that we've gotten in the trilogy, where it's just, you know, Voyager figures with extra accessories. This guy just feels like a leader class. He's big, he's bulky, and I just love his transformation. So let's zoom in and take a look at that beautiful noggin on Megatron. His face is done in a dark purple color. You have some silver for the nose, and you have some light silver for the sides of his helmet. The top of the helmet is done in a darker purple color. You have a nice purple all over his chest, some nice silver paint to pick out these vents on his chest. Even these teeth around his neck are painted in beautiful silver paint. A lot of paint apps on this figure, and he just looks great. This is Beast Wars Megatron, and I'm just like giddy every time I mess around with this figure. Going down to his legs, you can see some more gray paint picked out for his hip regions. You can see his hip launchers right here, which actually form from his thighs. You got some more dark purple mixed in with that light purple. Beautiful contrast. And then you have his T-Rex feet. You know, he got his big, obnoxious T-Rex head for an arm. And such a crazy look for Megatron. Absolutely love it. And then turn the figure to the back. He is a little bit of a kibbly mess, actually. I did not get the arms tucked in behind right here, just to clean up the back a little bit. But it works. You know, these Beast Wars characters did have a lot of junk hanging off him, and I think Hasbro did do a good job with this backpack on here. Really can't ask for much more. It's rubber pieces. It's not like it's the masterpiece figure where all these are going to flip and fold and compress. So yeah, I mean, I don't display my figures from the back. I display them from the front, so that big backpack really does not bother me. And I love this little claw pincher at the end of his arm. This unfortunately is not removable. This is molded right into his arm. It would have been nice if this was detachable, but it is a pretty sturdy piece. I don't think you're gonna be able to get this off, and this little pincher action does work pretty good. It's a pretty tight joint, so you can definitely hold some of the smaller figures with this pincher, and he just looks absolutely fantastic. So for articulation, his head can rotate side to side. It's kind of on a ball joint, but you can't get any side to side movement, just a little bit of looking up. But if you push it too far, you will undo his head. Just gonna clip it back in. For his arm, you get a little bit of up and down at the shoulder rotation right here. You get about 90 degrees on this arm, and then the only other articulation is just this pincher right here, and you do have a little bit of a hinge to move that tail section around, and then you get a little bit of a bicep swivel. Go over to the T-Rex arm, same thing, some bicep swivel. Shoulder can rotate pretty well. The mouth can open really wide, and you do have a little bit of elbow movement right here. And then he does have waist articulation. Legs can do pretty good split. They can move forwards that far. They can move backwards pretty far. The backpack really does not hamper that. You get some pretty good knee. Let me get his little pinchers out of the way. You can move his knee to about 90 degrees. Same thing with his feet. You get some nice movement with his feet and a little bit of ankle rockage. All right, let's move on with some comparisons. First up, here he is with Voyager Siege Megatron. And next up is Leader Class Earthrise Optimus Prime. You get to see how much larger Beast Wars Megatron is. It just truly feels like a Leader Class figure, which is absolutely fantastic. And next up, here he is with Paleo Rex. And here he is with Rat Trap. And I think that scales pretty well. Rat Trap was always very tiny in the show. And since this is a dinosaur review channel, let's just do one dinosaur comparison. Here it is with the Papo Giganotosaurus. So final thoughts on Kingdom Megatron. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Easily one of my favorite figures from the War for Cybertron trilogy. He looks great in both modes. Love the rubbery material that they use for the Beast mode. It gives a very lifelike feel. Yeah, his backpack is a little bit kibbly, but these parts need to go somewhere, and the trade-off is you get an excellent looking Beast mode. The articulation is great between both modes, and he just looks fantastic. Easily worth that $50 Leader Class price point. So yeah, he is definitely a must pick up if you're a Transformers fan, or even if you're a dinosaur fan. And rumor has it, Hasbro plans on repainting this mold into Rexy from Jurassic Park. Hasbro's been doing a lot of crossover stuff lately with Ghostbusters and Back to the Future. So a Jurassic Park crossover is definitely not out of the realm of possibility, and I'm looking forward to that. I really hope that rumor turns out to be true. So that would do it for the review. I'm probably going to review all the Beast Wars figures from Kingdom on the channel. That'll just scratch my Transformer love itch for a little bit. So, as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.